Welcome to Glass Half Full with Leslie Krongold. She shares her stories, experiences, and knowledge of living and coping with a chronic health condition. Learn about tools and resources and hear inspirational interviews that help you to live a life filled with quality and dignity. With 2 decades of support group leadership, Leslie's ready to help you make lemonade out of life's lemons. Are you ready?
What's up, Waning cuz?
Hello, or right now it's good morning for me, and it is a good morning because I managed to get myself out of bed. I think it was I don't know, before 9 a.m., which is early for me, but the days, are getting shorter, and sunset is like before 5 p.m., which is, I don't know, so surreal. I mean, obviously I've lived with daylight savings time for many, many years, my whole life, but somehow it just seems much more dramatic. But it's probably because I've been waking up later. Sleep, which I probably have talked about many times in 7.5 years of podcasting, sleep is my foundation, my health pyramid, but it hasn't been truer than now because I sleep longer. I don't sleep well every night, but often in the morning, I'll wake up at 6:30. I'll lay there for a while, and thankfully I fall back to sleep, and I wake up and it's 10. And my body needs it. It's weird. I can't help having that kind of emotional reaction, like I'm a slacker. But it is what it is. So anyhow, when you wake up at 10:30 a.m. and then the sun sets before 5 p.m., you really have had a short day. So, what's up? That's the name. That's what I call this episode. What's up? And apparently there are many different spellings of that. WHASSUP, what's up? WAZZUP, what's up? And then, when I wrote it down, because I really did think I was going to loosely script this, but if you haven't guessed, I have not scripted it. I am talking, I guess, extemporaneously, which I have rarely done in the 7.5 years of podcasting. But anyhow, I wrote down what's up, WUZ, and I just have this soundbite in my head of a really annoying, I guess, male voice. I'm not going to try to do it, but I'm going to try to find it and include it in this podcast when I edit it. Because years ago when I started, I really liked doing all those sound effects. I think they call it a Foley on a big film production, the person who creates all the sound effects. But anyhow, if I can't find it, then just kind of imagine this really annoying voice that goes, "What's up?" I think that was it. Okay, I'm not going to do that again. So if you missed it, just rewind. So I did a little Googling. Now I like Wikipediaing. I don't know if that's a verb. It said it was a commercial campaign for Budweiser beer from 1999 to 2002. I did not It said it aired during Monday Night Football. Yeah, I have never willfully, of my own volition, watched football. I mean, if I turned the channels, remember when we could do that, turn a dial and turn channels, I would go over football. I may have, yeah, I don't know. So then it said, let's see, it was based on a short film, True, by Charles Stone III, in which a group of African American men phone each other while watching sport, with the dialogue centered around yells of "What's up?" Okay, now it's coming back. So it was used as a friendly greeting to ask someone how they are or to ask what is happening. His phone goes, "What's up?" he says nonchalantly. "What are you doing?" The ad consisted simply of a bunch of guys screeching, "What's up?" to one another on the phone. Okay, so this is kind of coming back to me. Seriously, I did not read that until now. And I guess it just, where was I in 99? I had just moved to California. I moved in, no, I was out here. When did I move to California? I don't know. God, I'm old, you know? I got a lot of memories, and sometimes I'm not sure. I like calendars and date books, and I like making lists. That's what keeps me organized and current. So, the idea of calling it What's Up is really like I haven't published since the beginning of August, and that was a conversation I had with Patrick. And you can listen to that or watch it on YouTube. And then I did a month of archives, August archives. I like alliteration. And I have been, I've interviewed 2 people, and I'm going to try to produce those episodes in the next couple of weeks, get it all out before the end of the year. But I've definitely been changing, part of it is just energy. I have a lot less energy. and that's what, having a chronic health condition, progressive neuromuscular disease is all about. Your energy waxes and wanes, and I'm weaker. And the last big thing I did was the May Movement Challenge, which was in May, and it was the 3rd one. It was great, new, and instructors that had participated before. New people attended. There are a few who have attended all 3, and I loved it, and it exhausted me. And I'm here to say now that I'm not doing it again in that capacity. I'm working on something, finagling something where maybe I can move this whole thing to another group where they take it over. But I do have a Facebook group called Movement Challenge, which is free. If you're on Facebook, just join it. And all the different accessible, adaptive classes that I find out about, I post there. Most are free. Some, there's a minimal charge. But I encourage people to, don't look just to May to get your movement in. It's a year-round thing. And I'm still doing, I haven't done any in-person movement in so long. I guess COVID. I mean, no, that's not true. I don't go to classes in person. I do move out in the world. And that's the next thing I wanted to talk about, which I've gotten into. I think I've talked about, how I started falling more since I moved to Northern California, Mendocino area. And I now use a walker or wheelchair, beach wheelchair. What else do I have? Manual wheelchair. It all depends on how I feel and what the weather is like and the terrain. And I always wondered why some people I knew had all these different assistive mobility devices. And now I know, because I have them, and I'm grateful to have them. because, it's important to move around and to get out of my house and be immersed in nature. And so what happened to me about a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago, I went to a kickoff event by the Blue Zone Project. And if you don't know what they are, just Google them. And they kicked off at this Noyo Headlands Park, not far from where I live. And they had vendors and they had like little mini sessions of yoga. They're all about nutrition, social circles, exercise. It's, they have a mission that very much is aligned with what I've been doing with Glass Half Full. And so I went to it and it was very little I could access. I think I didn't have a power chair then, but my partner was pushing me in a manual wheelchair, and the ground was just so unforgiving that, we couldn't make our way to most of the vendors or booths. And I saw people with baby carriages that were having a hard time. And so I managed to find someone who turned out to be the head of the local chapter of Blue Zones Project. And I said, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" No, I didn't say it like that. But I introduced myself, I gave my information, and I said, "I'd love to volunteer, I'd love to help you make events more accessible," and she never called me. A couple of months later, I saw they were doing a cooking demonstration, and they're into plant-based cuisine or diet. And I went to the session, and my partner and I were the only ones there. So I had this same woman who's kind of the head of it, her full attention. And so then she actually listened and followed up, and I joined their a committee that meets online every few months, engaging the community. So through that, a few months of involvement there, they asked me to plan Moai walks. And Moai, M-O-A-I, is an Okinawan term. I'm not sure literally what it means, but it's about a group of people, small social group that meets and walks and, forms some kind of community. I said, and they wanted me to organize these in Fort Bragg over on the coast because they're based inland. And so I did that, but I said they have to be accessible. And we call them walk and roll movement, sessions. I did 10 of them, different locations. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of new people up here, and some people have been up here for years. Ironically, no one was in a wheelchair but me, but there were older people who used walking poles, or there was one couple who had these little things that convert into a chair. Rest was important generally for most of the people. We'd walk, sit and talk, walk, sit and talk. And there was a theme to each one. We did art murals. We did a tour of the botanical gardens. We did I got a naturalist to talk about the pygmy forest. We did a coastal walk. Anyhow, it was great. And it ended, and I thought, I want to keep doing this. So I started something called Leslie's Accessible Walks Law. Like, it should be law that our society makes nature as accessible as possible. And, of course, here I am now disabled, eased into being disabled over 20-something years. And, it wasn't, the sad thing for me is that I've been facilitating support groups and interacting with people who use wheelchairs, all the time. And I just never really, understood the limitations, that we have in society when you can't fully walk. So, now I'm living it, and so I'm trying to make up for lost time. And, I live in an area where the town, Mendocino, I don't live in the town, thankfully, but nothing is accessible. It's all very quaint and architectural integrity maintained, but there are stores and restaurants I cannot get into. I cannot support because there are stairs, there's no ramp, and I don't fully understand ADA law. I mean, I don't even partially understand it. I don't know why. I mean, the laws vary. I don't want to get into that and rather interview a lawyer who knows all about that. But the point is, so I'm doing what I can now to try to bring attention to it, make people aware, because I wasn't aware. Why should I expect any other able-bodied person to be aware? Someone who, here I was immersed in the neuromuscular disease community, and I didn't totally get it. So that's a big thing I'm doing, and I'm really happy that I've made some traction. I've met with different organizations, and I don't know exactly what my goal is yet, but I'm like a big fish in a small pond here, and I'm hoping to just incrementally improve things. So if you listen to this and you're on the coast, the northern coast, and you're disabled, please get in touch with me, because I don't want to be the only one out on these walks using a wheelchair. So the next thing that's been going on with me is that I get these meltdowns, and I've seen all the specialists, endocrinologists and neurologists, cardiologists, all the stuff I've been monitoring for years with my condition, and no one really knows what it's about, but it's really debilitating. And I'm incredibly sensitive to heat, like irrationally, not just like 60 degrees can be hot for me. So it's weird. And also lights and auditory stimuli. I can become incredibly sensitive. So I've reduced my screen time, using a computer or watching, TV. And that's part of why I haven't produced more episodes. And then just, it's aging, and then a progressive condition where it's like my eyes, my ears, my mobility, my body temperature. I'm just trying to get back to some homeostasis that works for me, the new normal. And I have my second acupuncture treatment tomorrow. Years ago, I was into traditional Chinese medicine and received acupuncture. I guess when I started, it might have been every week in Berkeley, and I know I've talked about in earlier episodes. Changed my diet a lot, excuse me, due to my immersion in that discipline. It really helped me a lot. And then I'm not sure. I guess I felt good. I guess that's why I left it. Got involved in other things, and so now I'm revisiting some of the non-Western Eastern modalities. In the last couple months, my partner and I are doing a meditation every night, and the minimum one is like a 10-minute one on Calm with the Calm app, and we're doing some longer ones, and I'm just trying to be more intentional about relaxation and being in the here and now, because the hardest thing is the anxiety when you start spiraling down, when I get these meltdowns, it's thankfully they're short-lived, and I have a few little resources to help mitigate them, but they're scary. And, it's that going into the future thinking they're going to get worse. They're going to last the whole day. What is this the life I want? Is this the new normal? Because I don't want it. So I'm grappling with all that. But right now, like I said, I got up earlier and I'm looking out my window and it is beautiful. The greens and the reds and the yellow. There's one bush that has a bunch of little yellow blooms. I don't know what they are, but it's beautiful. The light is perfect. And I feel good. So that's what's up. So I think that's about all I have to say. There are probably, other things. The main thing is like, made a decision about May Movement Challenge. I'm doing more local stuff in terms of nature and mobility. And I have 2 other podcast episodes that I'm going to get out soon, both interviews, really good interviews, interesting people, totally different than what I just talked about. And I'm always open to hearing from listeners about, what's going on with you, what episodes you like, what you get out of them. So that's it. I think it's January or March will be 8 years since I launched the podcast, and it's just kind of amazing. I've been doing it that long, and I fully intend to keep on doing it until I can't do it. But I will not commit to every 2 weeks. So that's it.
Thank you for listening to Glass Half Full. Leslie invites you to leave a rating and a review on iTunes. This helps spread the word to others dealing with chronic health issues. For show notes, updates, and more, visit the website glasshalffull.online. Glasshalffull.online.